Hey there guys, this is Richie, your host, with another marvelous video. Konnichiwa, warriors. Today we explore a world lesser known to the common man and have been made popular through decades of movies. For centuries, samurai warriors have been admired for their strength, discipline and unwavering commitment to their code of honor. In this video, we bring you a comprehensive list of 50 samurai movies you must watch before you die. From the classics like Seven Samurai and Throne of Blood to the more modern hits like Blade of the Immortal and Rurouni Kenshin. This list covers the best of the best in the world of samurai cinema. So, grab your swords and prepare for an epic journey through the world of samurai movies. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Seven Samurai, 1954. In a time of chaos and lawlessness, a small village in feudal Japan is under threat from a bandit gang who plans to raid them after the harvest. With no weapons or money to offer, the villagers are left with no choice but to hire samurai for protection in return for food. Enter Kanbei, an experienced ronin who recruits a team of warriors, each with unique skills and personalities, to defend the village. As the samurai and villagers begin to trust each other, tensions rise when the villagers reveal they acquired weapons by killing injured samurai from previous battles. Kikuchiyo, a wild and eccentric samurai, reveals his painful past as an orphaned farmer's son, leading to a shift in the samurai's perspective. As the bandits approach, the samurai train the villagers and prepare defenses, including a moat and high wooden fences. The battle is intense, and the samurai and villagers suffer heavy losses. Kikuchiyo sacrifices himself to kill the bandit chief, but the victory belongs to the peasants, not the samurai. Seven Samurai is a classic tale of horror, sacrifice, and the blurred lines between the oppressed and oppressors. With its compelling characters, stunning cinematography, and masterful storytelling, it remains a timeless masterpiece that continues to inspire and captivate audiences to this day. The Twilight Samurai, 2002. Seibei Iguchi is a dedicated samurai trying to make ends meet for his family after his wife's death. He avoids socializing and drinking with fellow samurais and instead focuses on his duties. One day, he meets his childhood friend's sister, Tomo, and their bond grows stronger after he defends her from her abusive ex-husband. However, Seibei's financial situation makes him hesitant to marry her, and Tomo stops visiting. Meanwhile, a power struggle within the clan leads Seibei to be ordered to kill a retainer, Zenemon Yogo. Though he lacks the skills to do so, he agrees reluctantly. With no one to help him with the pre-battle ritual, he calls his love interest to seek help. He proposes to Tomo, but he's aware that she's just become engaged to someone else. When he meets Yogo, he sympathizes with him, and after a fierce battle, Seibei defeats him. Seibei and Tomo eventually get married, but tragedy strikes when Seibei is killed in the Meiji Revolution War. Years later, his daughter Ito visits his and Tomo's grave and remembers how Seibei lived a happy life, surrounded by the people he loved. The Twilight Samurai is a story about the importance of duty and sacrifice to one's family and community. Seibei Iguchi is not a typical samurai, as he values his responsibilities over fame and glory. The film portrays his struggle realistically and emotionally, making it a recommended watch for everyone, regardless of age or nationality. 13 Assassins, 2010. 13 Assassins is a gripping tale of honor, duty, and justice set during the turbulent period of the Tokugawa shogunate's decline in the mid-19th century. The story centers around the infamous Lord Matsudaira Naritsugu of Akashi, whose reign of terror brought rape, torture, and murder to the nobles and commoners alike. Justice Minister Sadoi Toshitsura, realizing the danger of promoting Naritsugu to the shogunate council, hires an old samurai named Shimada Shinzaemon to assassinate the tyrant. Shimada and his 12 fellow assassins plan to transform the town of Ochiai into a death trap for Naritsugu and his 200-strong retinue. What follows is a thrilling and bloody battle of wits and strength as the assassins take on the powerful forces of Akashi. As the action unfolds, the audience is treated to a display of swordsmanship and strategy that showcases the power of a united force fighting for a common cause. The samurai's dedication to the Bushido code of honor, loyalty, and sacrifice is portrayed masterfully as each assassin gives his life to protect the mission's success. The film's final showdown between Shimada and Naritsugu is a powerful moment that highlights the consequences of abusing one's power and the role of the people in holding their leaders accountable. 13 Assassins is a testament to the power of courage and sacrifice and a fitting tribute to the samurai's legacy. The movie's stunning visuals, gripping storytelling, and compelling characters make it a must-watch for any fan of Japanese cinema. Round, 1985. In the ancient land of Japan, the legendary warlord Hidetora Ichimonji decides to divide his kingdom among his 3 sons, but his youngest son, Saburo, is exiled for speaking out against his father's plan for unity. Hidetora's loyal servant, Tango, is also banished for defending the young prince. As Hidetora's lands are divided, Lady Kadi, Taro's wife, uses her grudge against Hidetora to manipulate Taro into seizing control of the entire clan. When Taro demands that Hidetora renounce his title, the proud warlord chooses to leave and seek refuge with Jiro, only to discover that Jiro is more interested in using Hidetora as a pawn than a father. Hidetora and his followers wander the land, haunted by the ghosts of their past. Seeking sanctuary in the abandoned third castle, Hidetora is attacked by the combined forces of Taro and Jiro, leading to Taro's demise and Hidetora's descent into madness, as the battles, rage, and loyalties are tested, and Hidetora's grip on reality loosens, ultimately leading to his tragic downfall. Saburo's forces enter Jiro's territory in search of Hidetora, while Jiro prepares his army for battle. Saburo reconciles with his father, but tragically falls victim to one of Jiro's snipers. Hidetora, overcome with grief, dies shortly after that. In the end, a funeral procession is held for the fallen, and Surumaru, a lone survivor of Hidetora's siege, is left to contemplate the ruins of his world. The film delves deep into the themes of power, loyalty, and betrayal as it portrays the devastating consequences of violence and war on both individuals and society. The complex characters and intricate plot create a masterpiece of Japanese cinema that's both captivating and emotionally charged. In the end, Ran serves as a poignant reminder of the tragic consequences of ambition and greed, as well as the fragility of human relationships in the face of political turmoil. Kagimushi, 1980. Kagimushi is a spellbinding epic set during Japan's feudal Sengoku period, rife with political intrigue, deception, and tragedy. The story follows Takeda Shingen, a powerful daimyo who, after being gravely wounded, orders his men to keep his impending death a secret for 3 years to avoid causing chaos. His brother Nobukado then enlists a thief who bears a striking resemblance to Shingen to act as a decoy or Kagimushi in exchange for sparing his life. As the thief becomes more convincing in his role, he discovers the preserved corpse of the real Shingen and must work even harder to maintain the deception. His success as a Kagimushi impresses the generals, but Shingen's son, Katsuyori, is outraged at the subterfuge and challenges the imposter. The Kagimushi's answers, however, win over the council and ultimately lead to a glorious victory at the Battle of Takatenjin. But the Kagimushi's attempt to ride Shingen's horse reveals him as an imposter, leading to his disgrace and Katsuyori's succession. The Kagimushi's tragic fate is sealed when he takes up a spear and charges toward the Oda lines, mortally wounded and attempting to retrieve the Takeda banner. Kagimushi offers a poignant reflection on power and the lengths people will go to maintain it. The Kagimushi, a simple thief forced into a complex deception, is a haunting reminder of the high stakes involved in the struggle for control. Director Akira Kurosawa's expert direction, stunning visuals, and powerful score make Kagimushi a masterpiece of epic historical drama. This gripping tale provides a nuanced look into feudal Japan and the complex relationships between its warlords, making it a must-see for anyone fascinated by this period of history. Shogun Assassin, 1980. In this classic samurai movie based on Lone Wolf and Cub, we witness the tragic past of Ogami Ito, a former shogunate decapitator who was betrayed and lost his wife to ninja assassins. Ogami now travels the land with his young son, Daigoro, seeking vengeance against the shogun. However, they're constantly pursued by the shogun's ninjas, and Ogami's past has made him a marked man. In a thrilling fight scene, Ogami defends himself and Daigoro against 2 hooded samurai who attack them on the road. Using his wit and expertise with weapons, he overcomes his attackers and continues his journey. We see flashbacks of how he gave Daigoro an option to choose either life or death. Given the choice of a ball and a sword, the boy chooses the sword, and their journey becomes more perilous as they're presented with an ultimatum: swear lifelong loyalty or commit seppuku along with his son. Ogami and Daigoro face many challenges and battles throughout the movie, including dueling with the Yagyu kinship, killing Lord Bison, and fighting against the supreme ninja tasked with killing them by the shogun. Ogami accepts a mission to kill Lord Kiru, the shogun's brother, in exchange for 1,000 pieces of gold. However, their journey turns for the worse when Daigoro is captured and held hostage, and Ogami is left with a difficult decision to make. The film is a masterful display of samurai action, featuring impressive fight choreography and a compelling story of a father and son seeking justice against a corrupt system. Ogami's character perfectly blends stoicism and determination, while Daigoro provides an emotional anchor to the story. The film is a timeless classic and an excellent example of Japanese cinema. The Blind Swordsman, Zatoichi, 2003. Zatoichi, the legendary Blind Swordsman, is amidst a regional Yakuza guerrilla war in a small town. The Yakuza demand excessive protection money from the people in the township, and Zatoichi can't ignore their plight. Along the way, he makes friends with a peasant and her nephew, who apparently is a gambler. They aid him in his quest to help the townspeople. Soon, Zatoichi discovers two siblings. One was a man who greeds vengeance for the brutal assassination of their parents 10 years ago. The two were the lone survivors from the deadly incident 10 years ago, where their entire family was murdered, survivors of the robbery and massacre, and they're determined to avenge their family's death. Zatoichi offers his assistance and discovers that the Yakuza gang was behind this massacre, and once again, the same gang was terrorizing the township. With his incredible sword-fighting skills, Zatoichi fiercely fights a sea of henchmen and even kills the Yakuza's powerful bodyguard. He then confronts the Yakuza gang leaders. Not only did he blind the leader, but also killed the successor of the gang. As the dust settles, the film concludes with a spirited dance item led by the Stripes, a popular tap dancers ensemble. Zatoichi walks away from the town, still blind but satisfied that justice has been served. This is a visually stunning and emotionally captivating movie that transcends its genre. The exceptional performance of Takeshi Kitano as the lead character Zatoichi is remarkable and memorable. The movie's themes of social injustice, corruption and redemption add depth and significance to the narrative. Overall, The Blind Swordsman Zatoichi is a must-watch for anyone who appreciates well-crafted movies with complex characters, a rich storyline, and exceptional cinematography. Harakiri, 1962. Harakiri is a gripping Japanese film that takes you back to Edo in the year 1630. The protagonist, Tsugumo Hanshiro, is a ronin who arrives at the Ii clan estate seeking permission to commit seppuku. The clan's senior counselor, Seito Kageyu, tries to discourage him by telling him the tale of Chichiwa Motome, another ronin who was forced to disembowel himself with a bamboo blade after requesting a few days' delays. But Hanshiro is sincere in wanting to commit seppuku and demands that the three samurai who coerced Motome's suicide be summoned to behead him. They all refuse, citing illness. Hanshiro then recounts his own story, revealing that Motome was his friend's son, whom he raised as his own, and who later married his daughter, Miho. After Motome's forced demise, Hanshiro loses Miho and Kingo, his grandson, whose sole desire is to join them in death. When the samurai refuse to attend his seppuku, Hanshiro takes matters into his own hands and challenges them to a duel. He defeats them and mocks the Ii clan's hypocrisy and lack of honor. The film is a scathing critique of the samurai code of Bushido and the feudal system in general. It exposes the cruelty and hypocrisy of the samurai and the devastating effects their actions had on ordinary people. The story of Motome's forced suicide and Hanshiro's revenge reveal the deep flaws of the samurai supposed to honor and Bushido, which allowed them to commit atrocities in the name of tradition. Harakiri is a powerful reminder that tradition and honor should never be used as an excuse for cruelty and oppression. It's a story of courage, defiance, and the quest for justice in a world where power and tradition reign supreme. Ninja Scroll, 1993. In feudal Japan, gold flows like blood, with the Yamashiro kinship secretly mining it and sending it to the Toyotomi shogun, the dweller of the dark. But the stakes get higher when the shogun plans to use the gold to buy state-of-the-art Spanish artillery and overthrow the Tokugawa shogunate. The Eight Devils, or the ninjas of Kimon, who have supernatural powers, are tasked with protecting the gold shipment at all costs, even if it means killing innocent villagers. But when a team investigates the deaths, they're met with a brutal massacre, leaving only Kagero as the sole survivor. Jubei, an acquisitive ninja who was previously a part of the Yamashiro clan, joins forces with Kagero and a Tokugawa spy named Dakuan to take down the Eight Devils and stop the gold from reaching its destination. With action, violence, and supernatural elements, Ninja Scroll is a gripping tale of honor, betrayal, and redemption in a dark and gritty world. Blade of the Immortal, 2017. Manji, a samurai cursed with immortality, has lived for over 50 years with the weight of his sins. He carries with him the guilt of killing his own sister, who was used as bait by a group of ronin who wanted to collect the bounty on his head. But when a young girl named Rin Asano seeks his help to avenge her father's death at the hands of the Ito-ryo, Manji sees a chance to redeem himself. As they travel together, Manji and Rin encounter many adversaries, including members of the Ito-ryo and the Mugai-ryo. They learn about the complex history that led to the present-day conflict, and Rin begins to to question whether revenge is the right path. Meanwhile, Manji struggles with his own immortality, wondering if he'll ever be able to find peace. The battles that ensue are epic and bloody, as Manji and Rin fight against their enemies with all their might. Along the way, they encounter several fascinating characters, including Maki Otono Tachibana, a loyal follower of Kageshi Anotsu, who begins to question her allegiance, and Teitu Magatsu, a ruthless Ito-Ryo member who becomes obsessed with defeating Manji. In the end, Manji and Rin are faced with a final showdown against Kagehisa himself. The battle is intense, and both sides suffer heavy losses. But in the end, it's Manji who emerges victorious after defeating Kagehisa and avenging Rin's father. Though his wounds are many and his future uncertain, Manji is finally able to find some measure of peace, knowing that he's done what he could do to make amends for his past sins. In conclusion, Blade of the Immortal is a gripping tale of revenge, immortality, and redemption. Manji's journey from a guilt-ridden samurai to an ageless warrior seeking redemption through protecting Rin is a fascinating one. The movie is filled with intense action scenes, complex characters, and a captivating story that keeps the audience engaged from start to finish. Ultimately, it's a story of finding purpose in life and the importance of fighting for what's right, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. Blade of the Immortal is a must-watch for anyone looking for a thrilling, action-packed adventure with a meaningful message at its core. The Last Samurai, 2003. The Last Samurai takes us back to the late 19th century, when Nathan Algren, a former US Army captain, is haunted by his past and recruited to train the Imperial Japanese Army. Initially reluctant, he takes the job for the money, but things worsen when the samurai rebellion he's hired to quash proves too much for the inexperienced conscripts. His friend and comrade, Sergeant Gat, is killed in action, and Algren is taken captive by the very samurai he was hired to defeat. What follows is a tale of redemption and self-discovery as Algren gradually earns the samurai's respect, learning their ways, and masters the art of kenjutsu. As he trains alongside them, he begins to see the world from their perspective and understand their desire to protect their traditions from the encroaching modernization. Algren's newfound sense of purpose and belonging is put to the test when the samurai village is attacked, and he suspects Omura, the businessman who hired him, to be behind it. He helps the samurai defend their home and later joins them in a fight for their way of life, putting himself at odds with the Imperial Army he was once a part of. The climactic battle is a brutal affair that forces both sides to confront the cost of their actions, and Algren finds himself torn between loyalty to the samurai and his duty to the emperor. In the end, he makes a choice that ultimately leads to the preservation of Japanese culture and the downfall of those who sought to destroy it. Tom Cruise delivers a standout performance as Algren, showcasing his range as an actor and delivering a nuanced portrayal of a man haunted by his past, but driven by a sense of purpose. The film's stunning cinematography and a soaring score transport us to a bygone era and add to the emotional depth of the story, making The Last Samurai a must-watch for fans of epic historical dramas. Ghost Dog, The Way of the Samurai, 1999. In the crime drama film Ghost Dog, The Way of the Samurai, the main character, Ghost Dog, serves Louis, a local gangster, as he once saved his life. Ghost Dog is a hatchet man who works for the American Mafia and follows the norms of the samurai code, interpreting and applying the knowledge of the Hagakure. Ghost Dog was commanded by his master to murder Handsome Frank, another mobster who has a love interest with the daughter of an American Mafia boss named Vargo. Ghost Dog complies and kills Frank but spares the girl. To save himself from being charged with Frank's murder, Vargo and his associate decide to eliminate Ghost Dog. They find his cabin and shoot his pigeons, intending to kill them, prompting Ghost Dog to seek revenge. In his leisure time, Ghost Dog frequently visits a park where he makes good friends with Raymond, a French-speaking vendor who sells ice cream, and Perline, a young girl. Despite their language barriers, the three develop a bond. Ghost Dog lends Perline Rashomon and encourages her to read it, while Raymond helps Ghost Dog by providing him with information. In the final showdown, Ghost Dog invades Vargo's residence, killing anyone and everyone that comes his way, sparing only the daughters of both Louis and Vargo. He later kills Sonny Valerio before expecting Louis to attack him. However, Ghost Dog hesitates to fight back as he feels obliged to respect the person who saved his life. Hence, he lets Louis take his life. His final act is to give Louis the book Rashomon, suggesting that he should read this one. Perline is devastated to watch her friend die, and he aims an empty gun at Louis as he escapes. The film is a compelling portrayal of a hitman's unwavering loyalty to his master and adherence to the samurai code. It's a poignant story of friendship, honor, and sacrifice that leaves a lasting impression on the audience. Ultimately, Perline reads the most famous Hagakure, and Ghost Dog's legacy lives on. Throne of Blood, 1957. Akira Kurosawa's Throne of Blood is a masterful retelling of Shakespeare's Macbeth, set in feudal Japan. The movie follows samurai commanders and friends, Generals Miki and Washizu, who have just returned to their Lord Suzuki's castle after winning a battle. On their journey, they encounter a mysterious spirit prophesizing Washizu's rise to power as the new Lord of Spider's Web Castle. But the prophecy comes with a dark price. Washizu must kill Suzuki to make it a reality. Manipulated by his wife Asagi, Washizu murders Suzuki and becomes the new lord, just as the spirit had predicted. However, guilt and paranoia consume Washizu as he begins to suspect everyone around him, including his friend Miki. Washizu's descent into madness culminates in a bloody banquet where Miki's ghost appears to haunt him, and Washizu confesses to his crime. As Washizu's men start to fear him, the forest rises against him and his downfall begins. The final battle scene is breathtakingly choreographed as Washizu's army is ambushed by the enemy, who use trees cut from the spider's web forest as shields. Washizu is mortally wounded, and his dream of ruling the castle becomes a tragic nightmare. Throne of Blood is a stunning masterpiece of cinema that masterfully blends Shakespeare's timeless story with Japanese culture and history. The movie's themes of ambition, betrayal, guilt, and the consequences of power are as relevant today as they were when the film was first released. Samurai Assassin, 1965. In a world where birthright is everything, Nero Surichio's illegitimate birth made him a social outcast. But Nero isn't just any ordinary man. He's a sword fighter, and a damn good one at that. So, when the Lord of Hikoni, who's addressed as Sir Lee Kamonokami Naosuke, becomes the target of multiple clans, Nero knows he has the skills to help bring them down. But this isn't just any assassination plot. Lee's decision to appoint the 14th shogunate at his sole discretion has caused an uproar, and the Ansei Purge is put into place to silence any critics. But this only angers the three rival provinces even more, who are determined to disregard Lee from his authority by any means necessary. Nero must navigate the treacherous waters of feudal politics, where alliances are fragile, power can be fleeting. As he fights alongside the clans, Nero begins to realize that his path is more than just seeking vengeance. He discovers a deeper purpose to his sword-fighting skills, and learns that his place in society isn't defined by his birth. But the tension in the plot only builds as the shoguns weed out Lee's spies from the assassination plot. Inspired by the historical event of Sakura Damon, where the major assassination of Lee Naosuke, the feudal lord, took place just before the Edo Castle Sakurada Gate, the film offers a glimpse into the complex and dangerous world of feudal politics. It's a story about the power of redemption, the value of loyalty, and the strength of character needed to navigate the intricate web of power struggles. Will Nero choose loyalty or vengeance? Only time will tell. Jimbo, 1961. Jimbo is a classic Japanese action film set in 1860 during the final years of the Edo period. The story follows a wandering masterless samurai who stumbles into a town controlled by two rival gangs. The gangs are battling over the lucrative gambling trade run by one of them, Seibei. After sizing up the situation, the Ronin decides to play both sides against each other, believing the town would be better off with both gangs dead. He effortlessly kills three of Ushitori's men, who is the other gang leader, leading Seibei to hire his services. The Ronin is eventually discovered by the two gangs, who team up to torture him. However, he manages to escape and confronts the gangs in a final duel, killing all but one terrified youth. The Ronin spares the youth and returns him to his parents. In the aftermath, the town is left in chaos as Tazeimon, a silk merchant, goes mad and kills Tokumon, the local sake brewer. Both Tazeimon and Tokumon supported and funded Ushitora and Seibei, respectively. The Ronin frees his friend Gonji from the hands of Ushitora and leaves, having completed his mission. With superb cinematography and excellent action scenes, Jimbo remains an all-time classic of Japanese cinema. Rurouni Kenshin, 2012. In the aftermath of the Battle of Toba Fushimi, a legendary swordsman known as Hitokiri Batosai abandons his sword and disappears from the scene, leaving his weapon behind. Years later, Sato Hajime investigates a murder that seems to implicate Batosai, but suspects a wealthy businessman named Takeda Kanryu is involved. Meanwhile, Kenshin, the former Batosai, now going by Himura Kenshin, arrives in Tokyo and meets Kamiya Kaoru, who attacks him, believing he's the infamous killer. But Kenshin reveals that he carries a reverse blade sword and is not the same person. He later crosses paths with Megumi, a woman on the run from Kanryu, and helps her. As the story progresses, Kenshin finds himself caught up in Kanryu's dangerous world and must use his skills to protect those he cares about. He also grapples with the guilt of his past actions and vows not to kill again, a theme that resurfaces throughout the plot. The film reaches a climax when Jinei, a killer who's been terrorizing the city, kidnaps Kaoru and challenges Kenshin to a deadly duel. Though Kenshin emerges victorious, he spares Jine's life and realizes that he must confront the demons of his past. Overall, Rurouni Kenshin is a thrilling action film that explores themes of redemption and the consequences of violence. With dynamic fight scenes, complex characters, and a gripping plot, it's a must-see for fans of the genre. The Hidden Fortress, 1958. The story of the Hidden Fortress follows two bumbling peasants, Tahei and Matashichi, who set out to join the Yamane clan in hopes of striking it rich. However, their plans are quickly derailed when they're mistaken for soldiers from the defeated Akizuki clan and forced to dig graves. After escaping and reuniting, the pair is captured again and forced to help the Yamane clan search for the Akizuki clan's hidden gold. Their luck changes when they stumble upon a piece of gold and are rescued by a mysterious man, who turns out to be the famous Akizuki General, Makabe Rokurota. Rokurota hatches a plan to protect Princess Yuki of the Akizuki clan and smuggle her and the gold to safety in the neighboring state of Hayakawa. Along the way, Tahei and Matashichi's greed and cowardice put the group in peril several times. As the group nears Hayakawa, they're pursued by Yamane soldiers, and Rokurota must face his old rival in a lance duel. After narrowly escaping capture, the group is detained at an outpost on the Hayakawa border, where they're scheduled to be executed. However, a sudden change of heart by Tadokoro, Rokurota's old rival, allows the group to escape with the gold. In the end, Tahei and Matashichi stumble across the lost gold, but are arrested as thieves. However, their good deed of saving the gold leads to a reward from Princess Yuki, and they finally achieve their dream of striking it rich. The Hidden Fortress is a masterpiece of cinema that not only entertains, but also captivates with its complex characters and intricate plot. This epic tale of survival and redemption offers a glimpse into feudal Japan's rich history and culture, and the stunning cinematography and direction bring the story to life in a way that's both timeless and unforgettable. With its blend of action, humor, and heart, The Hidden Fortress is a must-see for anyone who loves adventure and drama. Whether you're a fan of Akira Kurosawa or a newcomer to his work, this film will leave you breathless with its thrilling action sequences, powerful performances, and unforgettable ending. Don't miss out on this cinematic masterpiece that stood the test of time and continues to inspire filmmakers and audiences alike. The Samurai Trilogy, 1954 to 1956. The Samurai Trilogy is an epic journey through the life of the legendary samurai Miyamoto Musashi, portrayed by Toshiro Mifune. The three films combine to create a gripping tale of loyalty, betrayal, and redemption set in ancient Japan. The first film, Musashi Miyamoto, sees Musashi and his friend Matahachi on the losing side of a battle. They seek shelter with a widow and her daughter, only to be embroiled in a plot involving local brigands. Betrayed by his friend and feeling alone, Musashi fights off the brigands and eventually rescues his true love, Otsu, before setting out on a quest for enlightenment. In Samurai 2, Duel at Ichijoji Temple, Musashi arrives in Kyoto and faces off against Sanjiro, Yoshioka's students. He demands to fight Sanjiro himself, but Toji plans to have his brother fight instead. Meanwhile, Musashi is intrigued by Kojiro Sasaki's longsword and finds himself caught in a love triangle between Otsu and Akimi. In the end, Musashi leaves behind his past and embarks on a new journey. In Samurai 3, Duel at Ganryu Island, Musashi is settled into a peaceful life, but his tranquility is disrupted when he's challenged by Sasaki, a supremely confident and skillful swordsman. As they prepare for their final duel, Musashi reflects on his relationships with Otsu and Akimi and mourns the loss of his worthy opponent after the fight. The Samurai Trilogy showcases the art of swordsmanship and explores themes such as love, loyalty, and honor. Musashi's journey from a reckless and ambitious warrior to a disciplined and enlightened swordsman is a captivating tale that immerses viewers in the world of ancient Japan. The masterful performances and stunning cinematography make the trilogy a must-watch for anyone interested in action-packed historical dramas. Lone Wolf and Cub film series. This story is so popular that it's been remade in several film series. Once a powerful executioner, now a wandering assassin for hire with his infant son by his side, Ogami Ito embarks on a path of vengeance against the clan responsible for the murder of his wife and the loss of his position. In a story filled with treachery, bloodshed, and a deep-seated desire for revenge, Lone Wolf and Cub is a masterpiece of Japanese cinema. When Ogami Ito's world is shattered by the brutal murder of his wife and household, he discovers that he's been set up by an influential clan leader who wants to control the three key positions of power in Japan. Forced to forfeit his post and sentenced to commit seppuku, Ogami Ito gives his 1-year-old son, Degoro, a choice between a ball and a sword. The child chooses the sword, setting them both on a path of Mefumado, the cursed journey for vengeance. As father and son travel the country as assassins for hire, they encounter various enemies and allies, revealing different parts of the story at different times. Their ultimate goal is to take down the Yagyu clan and avenge Azami's death and Ito's disgrace. But But when Ogami Ito's Dotonuki sword is tampered with and ultimately breaks during a battle with a grass ninja, it's his son who takes up the broken spear to finish the job. The final duel between Ito and the Yagyu clan leader Retsudo is one of the finest single fight scenes, but in the end, it's not Ito who delivers the final blow. With tears in his eyes, Retsudo embraces Daigoro and names him grandson of my heart, closing the cycle of vengeance and hatred between the clans and concluding this epic tale. Filled with betrayal, honor, and a deep desire for justice, Lone Wolf and Cub is a must-see for fans of samurai movies and Japanese cinema. With its non-chronological storytelling, this trilogy of films will keep you on the edge of your seat from beginning to end. Sword of Doom, 1966. This movie tells the story of Ryonosuke Suke, a master swordsman with an unconventional style and an utter lack of morality. The film opens with Ryonosuke killing an elderly pilgrim who prayed for death, displaying his callous nature. He later rapes his opponent's wife in a fencing match, which turns into a lethal duel after the man discovers his wife's violation. Ryonosuke kills him and is forced to flee the town. He then joins the Shinsengumi, a group of ronin working as a semi-official police force, and spends his days committing murder and assassinations. Ryonosuke's lack of emotion remains constant throughout the film, even at home with his mistress and their child. Samurai Killer is a gripping tale of a man consumed by his own evil and the tragic consequences of his actions. While he learns that the younger brother of the man he killed in the fencing match is seeking revenge, he plans to kill him, but doubts his own invincibility when he witnesses another swordsman in action. His mistress tries to kill him, and he kills her in return, followed by a spree of violence at the Oiran house where he'd been staying. As the film progresses, Ryonosuke becomes haunted by the ghosts of those he's killed and descends into madness. He attacks the shadows around him and kills his fellow assassins until he's mortally wounded. The film ends with a freeze frame of Ryonosuke in mid-sword slash, leaving the audience to contemplate the consequences of a life without empathy. Sword of Doom is a riveting and intense samurai film that explores the dark and twisted mind of its anti-hero, Ryonosuke Suke. Tatsuya Nakade delivers a masterful performance as the immoral swordsman. The film's themes of violence, madness, and redemption are brought to life by director Kihachi Okamoto's stylish and kinetic visuals and the iconic score by Masaru Sato. Although it may be a challenging and unsettling watch at times, Sword of Doom is a must-see for fans of Japanese cinema and samurai films, and a timeless classic that still resonates with audiences today. Lady Snowblood, 1973. In the 1870s, Sayo gives birth to her daughter Yuki in a women's prison, where she's serving a life sentence for killing one of her husband's murderers. Before she dies, Sayo entrusts Yuki with the task of avenging the brutal rape and murder of her husband and son by their 3 other assailants. Yuki grows up to become an assassin, receiving rigorous training from a priest named Dokai, and takes on the name Shirayuki Hime. She kills Shibayama, a leader of a criminal gang, in exchange for information about her mother's tormentors. Yuki then tracks down Takemura Banzo, one of the remaining tormentors, and kills him without mercy. She discovers that the 3rd tormentor, Tsukamoto Gishiro, has already died in a shipwreck. When a reporter named Rirei Ashio learns of Yuki's story, he persuades her to reveal it to the public to lure out one of her mother's tormentors. Yuki kills Kitahama Okono, who kidnaps Ashio in an attempt to find Yuki. Ashio then reveals that Gishiro is his father and is still alive. Yuki sets out to find him and kills a decoy before eventually confronting Gishiro himself. Ashio is shot while grappling with Gishiro, but manages to stop him from shooting Yuki. In a final act of vengeance, Yuki stabs Gishiro and slits his throat. She's stabbed by Kobu, Banzo's daughter seeking revenge for her father's death. Yuki falls into the snow and appears dead, but opens her eyes the following morning. The film, set in the Meiji period of Japan, features intense sword fighting and revenge-driven violence. After the Rain, 1999. In the midst of a flood, tensions run high amongst a group of stranded travelers at a country inn. Enter Ihai Mizawa, a traveling ronin with a heart of gold who takes it upon himself to lift everyone's spirits by organizing a grand feast. But with no money to spare, Mizawa resorts to prize fighting with local dojo masters to pay for the feast. Mizawa's journey takes a turn when he intervenes in a duel between 2 young retainers, impressing the daimyo Shigeki with his skill and temperament. Offered employment as a sword master, Mizawa navigates a complex and tense interaction with the lord and his retainers, showcasing his prowess at their expense. As the story unfolds, we also see Mizawa's tender relationship with his wife, Tayo, offering insights into the challenging life of a ronin spouse. The movie's plot effectively conveys the struggle and resilience of a masterless samurai while highlighting the cultural and social norms of feudal Japan. The direction is subtle and nuanced, making for a compelling watch. 3 Outlaw Samurai. 1964. The movie follows the story of a wandering ronin named Sakon Shiba, who gets involved in a hostage situation where peasants have kidnapped the magistrate's daughter. The situation quickly escalates as different parties get involved, including the magistrate's soldiers, his samurai, and a group of mercenaries. As the tension rises, Shiba becomes the voice of reason and tries to negotiate a peaceful solution. However, when the peasants are betrayed and murdered, Shiba seeks revenge against the magistrate and leads a fight against his elite samurai. During the battle, Shiba faces a dilemma where he must choose between fulfilling his revenge or saving the life of Aya, the magistrate's daughter. The movie is a gripping tale of honor, loyalty, and sacrifice that showcases the complexities of samurai culture and the importance of upholding one's principles. Kill, 1968. In Kill, the lines between honor and survival become blurred as a disillusioned samurai, Genta, and a farmer yearning for power, Tabata, navigate the treacherous world of clan politics. Tatsuya Nakada delivers a powerful performance as the former samurai turned Yakuza member whose ideals clash with those of Tabata, played by Atsushi Takahashi. Their lives intersect when a local clan's chancellor is assassinated by a group of 7 rebels, led by Tetsutaro Oikawa, played by Naoko Kubo. Despite having the support of their superiors, Yuzawa, played by Shigeru Koyama, the 7 are betrayed and labeled as outlaws, forced to fight for their survival against their own clan. As Genta and Tabata find themselves on opposite sides of the conflict, they must decide where their loyalties lie and whether the samurai code of honor still holds any value in a world where power and survival reign supreme. Kill is a thrilling tale of betrayal, redemption, and the struggle to define one's own path in life. Hanzo, the Razor, Sword of Justice, 1972. Hanzo, the Razor, Sword of Justice is a Japanese movie that was released in 1972. Directed by Kenji Misumi, this film is a unique mix of action, drama, and eroticism. The movie follows the story of Hanzo, a powerful and skilled samurai who works as a detective for the shogunate. He's tasked with investigating a series of murders and uncovering a conspiracy that involves the highest levels of government. What sets Hanzo, the Razor, Sword of Justice apart from other samurai movies of the time is the explicit sexual content. The movie features several scenes that are both graphic and erotic, which was highly controversial at the time of its release. However, the film's strong performances, intricate plot, and stunning action sequences make it a movie that's worth watching. The character of Hanzo is played by Shintaro Katsu, who's best known for his role as Zatoichi in the long-running film series of the same name. Katsu delivers a powerful and nuanced performance as the stoic and determined samurai who's not afraid to use his wit and cunning to get the job done. Hanzo, the Razor, Sword of Justice is a classic samurai movie that's a must-see for fans of the genre. While some viewers may find the sexual content to be off-putting, the movie's strong performances, intricate plot, and stunning action sequences make it a true gem of Japanese cinema. Le Samurai, 1967. Le Samurai is a French crime film directed by Jean-Pierre Melville and released in 1967. The movie follows the story of Jeff Costello, a hitman who works for the French underworld. Costello is played by Alain Delon, who delivers a mesmerizing performance as a cool, collected, and stoic killer. The film is known for its minimalist style and use of silence, which creates a tense and atmospheric mood throughout. The use of color is also striking, with a muted color palette that adds to the film's sense of detachment and isolation. The plot of Le Samurai revolves around Costello's attempts to evade the police and his employers after a botched hit. As he tries to clear his name, Costello becomes increasingly isolated and paranoid, leading to a stunning and unpredictable finale. The film has been praised for its nuanced portrayal of a hitman who is both ruthless and professional, yet also vulnerable and human. The character of Costello is an enigma, and the film leaves much open to interpretation, making it a thought-provoking and engaging watch. The Samurai is a masterpiece of French cinema that's had a lasting impact on the genre of crime and thriller movies. With its minimalist style, stunning performances, and complex plot, it's a must-see for fans of classic cinema. Harakiri, Death of a Samurai, 2011. Harakiri, Death of a Samurai, a movie that's got more drama than a soap opera and more sword fights than an old-school samurai flick. It's the story of Tsukumo Hanshiro, a samurai who's down on his luck and looking for a way out. And what better way to go out than with a bang, or a slice, as it were. Hanshiro requests permission to perform seppuku, ritual suicide, in the courtyard of Lord Lee's castle. But before he can go through with it, he's told the tale of Chijiwa Motomi, another samurai who made the same request the previous year. Motomi's request was denied, and he ended up performing seppuku with a bamboo sword, breaking it inside his own stomach. Ouch. Hanshiro insists on continuing with the ritual, despite the warning from Seito Kageyu, a senior retainer. And boy, samurai? Does he have a story to tell? Tomi was Hanshiro's son-in-law, and he died a painful death due to his own failed suicide attempt. Hanshiro is understandably disgusted with the way his family members are treated, so he seeks revenge by challenging the other samurai with a bamboo sword. Hey, why not? Hanshiro's battle is epic, and he knocks down the castle's decorative suit of armor in the process. Lord Lee returns to the castle and asks if the suit of armor has been polished because it's the pride of the castle. Little does he know, it's also the pride of Hanshiro's sword-swinging skills. In the end, the other samurai commits seppuku out of shame, and the suit of armor is put back together. It's a movie with a message. Honor is more than just a word. It's something you have to fight for, literally in this case. So, if you're looking for a film that's got action, drama, and a whole lot of swordplay, Harakiri, Death of a Samurai is the way to go. Just don't try any of those sword tricks at home, okay? Sanjiro, 1962. Sanjiro is a 1962 Japanese film directed by the legendary Akira Kurosawa and starring the iconic Toshiro Mifune. It's a sequel to Kurosawa's 1961 film Yojimbo, but with a new story based on the novel Hibi Heian by Shugoro Yamamoto. The story follows Tsubaki Sanjiro, a ronin who helps a group of young samurai rescue a chamberlain and his family from corrupt officials. Sanjiro initially warns the samurai not to trust the superintendent Kikui, but when he realizes the chamberlain and his family are in danger, he decides to stick around and help. Sanjiro gets closer to the corrupt officials by joining their henchman Hanbei, who offers him a job. Sanjiro realizes he's being followed and gets captured, but he manages to escape and free the captured samurai. Sanjiro then hatches a plan to trick the officials and save the day. It's like Ocean's 11 meets The Last Samurai. The film is filled with thrilling action sequences and well-developed characters. Toshiro Mifune's performance as Sanjiro is outstanding, and Kurosawa's direction is masterful. Sanjiro is a must-see for fans of samurai movies and Japanese cinema, so grab your katana and prepare for an epic adventure. Samurai Rebellion, 1967. Now it's the time to delve into the world of Samurai Rebellion. This movie takes us back to the Edo period of Japan, where we meet Isaburo Sashihara, a skilled swordsman and vassal of the Aizu clan. He's stuck in a loveless marriage with a woman who's as pleasant as a toothache, but things take a turn when his son is ordered to marry the daimyo's ex-concubine, Ichi. Now, let's pause for a moment and appreciate the fact that this movie has everything. Love, betrayal, rebellion, and ex-concubines. It's like a romantic comedy meets a Kurosawa film. Anyways, after some time, Ichi and Yogoro fall in love and have a daughter named Tomi. But things go awry when the daimyo's primary heir dies, and he wants Ichi back to take care for their son and heir. The family refuses, and all hell breaks loose. Ichi is trekked into the castle, and Isaburo demands the heads of the daimyo and his two primary advisors before he complies. Isaburo sends his younger son and wife away and prepares for battle, tearing down the walls of his house to make more space for combat. He's not messing around, folks. The daimyo's steward shows up with a platoon of 20 samurai, and a fierce battle ensues. Ichi refuses to join the daimyo's household and throws herself onto a spear instead of abandoning her husband. Talk about commitment. Isaburo is enraged and kills the steward's entire party, burying the dead couple. He decides to take his case to the shogun in Edo, accompanied by Tomi. But his friend, Tatawaki, who's guarding the gate, can't let him pass and challenges him to a duel. Isaburo wins, but assassins hidden nearby cut him down with musket fire. That's what you get for being a rebel, folks. In the end, we see Tomi's wet nurse comforting the baby who's been secretly following Isaburo. It's a touching moment that reminds us that even in the midst of rebellion and chaos, there's still room for love and compassion. So, if you're in the mood for a movie that has it all, Samurai Rebellion is the one for you. Just grab some popcorn, a sword, and get ready for a wild ride. Unforgiven, 2013. Get ready for a wild ride through the early Meiji period in Japan's Hokkaido frontier with the 2013 film Unforgiven, directed by Lee Sang-il. The Jidaigekki's Western remake of Clint Eastwood's 1992 classic tells the story of Jubei Kamata, a former samurai who fought against the imperial government and is known as Jubei the Killer. Years later, in an unnamed frontier town, two brothers beat and disfigure a prostitute, drawing the attention of several bounty hunters, including Jubei's former comrade Kingo Baba. Kingo convinces a reluctant Jubei to join him in earning the bounty, but things quickly spiral out of control as they face off against Ichizo Oishi, an ex-samurai who lets the brothers go with only minor punishment. As Jubei and Kingo track down their targets, they're joined by Goro Sawada, a young half Ainu hunter who claims to have killed 5 men already. But the trio soon finds themselves in over their heads as they face off against Oishi and his deputies, leading to a violent showdown that'll leave you on the edge of your seat. Unforgiven is a film that seamlessly blends the traditional samurai genre with the gritty realism of a western, creating a unique cinematic experience that you won't soon forget. With stunning cinematography and outstanding performances from the cast, including Ken Watanabe as Jubei Kamata, this film is a must-see for fans of both Japanese cinema and westerns. The Tale of Zatoichi, 1962. The Tale of Zatoichi is a classic Japanese chanbara film that tells the story of a blind masseur named Zatoichi, who's hired by the Yakuza, Sukegoro, as muscle for an impending war against his rival, Shigezo. Zatoichi has a reputation as a skilled swordsman despite his blindness, and Sukegoro believes that his services are worth the money. However, Shigezo hires a ronin named Miki Hirate to counter Zatoichi's skills. Despite his blindness and his lowly position as a masseur, Zatoichi is a master of his other senses and is commonly underestimated by those around him. He's even able to detect when gamblers are trying to cheat him by the sound of loaded dice. The only person who shows him respect is Hirate, who understands what it feels like to be an outcast. Though they know they must fight each other when the war begins, they develop a sense of friendship. As the war between Sukegoro and Shigezo becomes inevitable, Hirate becomes increasingly sick with tuberculosis. Taking advantage of his illness, Sukegoro orders an all-out attack on Shigezo and removes Zatoichi from his payroll. Hirate learns that Shigezo intends to snipe Zatoichi with a Tanegashima and pledges to kill him in an honorable manner. Zatoichi learns of Hirate's intentions and the reason behind them from a young boy at the temple where Hirate was staying. In a tense final fight, Zatoichi and Hirate face off against each other, with Zatoichi emerging as the victor. After the battle, Zatoichi rejects the advances of the Yakuza mistress Otane and chooses to continue his life as a solitary wanderer. The Tale of Zatoichi is a beautifully crafted film that blends action, drama, and friendship into a gripping and emotional tale. Shintaro Katsu's performance as Zatoichi is truly remarkable and brings to life the character's unique blend of vulnerability and strength. The film's depiction of feudal Japan is also highly authentic, providing a fascinating glimpse into the country's rich history and culture. The Tale of Zatoichi is a must-see for fans of Japanese cinema and chanbara films in particular. Legend of the Eight Samurai, 1983. Legend of the Eight Samurai. Oh yeah, I remember that one. It's a classic Japanese historical martial arts fantasy film from the 80s. And let me tell you, it's got everything you could want in a movie. Princesses, dog warriors, curses, and a villainous queen. The story starts off with Princess Shizu, who's on the run from her enemies after her family is slain. Luckily for her, she meets a vagabond named Shinbei, who helps her out. But then they run into Dosetsu, who tells them about a curse on her family and these 8 magical beads that can lift it. And guess what? Dosetsu and his buddy are 2 of the 8 dog warriors they need to find to defeat the evil queen Tamazusa. But of course, there's always a catch. Shinbei finds out about the princess's identity and decides to capture her for the reward. So now they've got to find the other 6 dog warriors while dodging Shinbei's schemes. And let's not forget about the cast. There's Hiroko Yakushimaru as the princess, Hiroyuki Sanada as the vagabond Shinbei, and the legendary Sonny Chiba as Dosetsu. Oh, and let's not forget Mari Natsuki as the evil queen Tamazusa. She's so delightfully wicked, you can't help but love her. Shushingura, 1962. Shushingura, or 47 Samurai in the US, is a classic Jidai-geki epic film from 1962 that tells the story of Asano Naganori, a daimyo who gets into hot water for refusing to pay some court officials. Things escalate quickly, and he tries to kill protocol official Kira Yoshinaka, leading to him being sentenced to commit seppuku and his samurai becoming ronin. But don't worry, this isn't a tale of defeat. His 47 samurai vow to reclaim their honor and avenge their master's death, leading to an epic tale of honor, revenge, and loyalty that'll have you on the edge of your seat. The special effects by Eiji Tsuburaya are top-notch, and the direction by Hiroshi Inagaki is masterful. Shushingura Hana no Maki Yuki no Maki is a must-see for fans of Japanese cinema and anyone who loves a good samurai tale. So grab some popcorn and get ready for an epic adventure that'll leave you wanting more. When the Last Sword is Drawn, 2002. When the Last Sword is Drawn is a 2002 Japanese historical drama film directed by Yojiro Takita. The film is based on the novel Mibu Gishiden by Jiro Asada, which fictionalizes the true story of a group of samurai. The story follows 2 samurai, Saito Hajime and Fujimura Kanzemon, who become unlikely allies despite their different backgrounds and beliefs. Saito is a former member of the Shinsengumi, a group of samurai who are loyal to the shogunate, while Fujimura is a samurai who fights for money. The film explores themes of honor, loyalty, and sacrifice as the 2 samurai are forced to confront their beliefs and confront their pasts. When the Last Sword is Drawn features an ensemble cast of notable Japanese actors, including Kiichi Nakai, Koichi Saito, and Yui Natsukawa. The film was a critical and commercial success in Japan and won numerous awards, including Best Picture at the Japanese Academy Awards. Yagyu Clan Conspiracy, 1978. The Yagyu clan conspiracy, also known as Shogun Samurai, is a thrilling historical martial arts period film set in 17th century Japan. The movie tells the story of the power struggle for the Tokugawa shogunate after the death of Shogun Tokugawa Hidetada. The conflict between Hidetada's two sons, Iemitsu and Tadanaga, intensifies as various nobles and ministers take sides in the dispute. The Yagyu clan becomes involved in the conflict when Yagyu Jubei, Iemitsu's fencing instructor, finds out that Hidetada was given a poison and challenges Matsudaira and Lady Kasuga. As the power struggle continues, the Yagyu clan faces betrayal and brutal attacks from their enemies, leading to a series of violent battles and betrayals. The film's intricate plot, full of twists and turns, keeps the viewer engaged until the very end, as Iemitsu emerges as the new shogun and Jubei becomes a wandering ronin. The performances are excellent, especially Shinichi Sonny Chiba as Jubei, and the action sequences are expertly choreographed. The film offers a unique perspective on the political and social landscape of feudal Japan, making it a must-see for fans of historical dramas and martial arts films. Goyokin, 1969. Hold on to your katanas, samurai fans, because Goyokin is one wild ride of a samurai movie, set in the late Tokugawa period. The film follows Magobe Wakizaka, a samurai for the Sabai clan, who's trying to atone for some pretty serious past transgressions. When a gold ship sinks and the local fishermen recover some of the gold, Magobe's clan master takes the loot and slaughters the fishermen to cover his tracks. Not cool, bro. Fast forward 3 years, and Magobe is living in Edo when assassins sent by his former master came for him. Realizing that his old boss intends to steal more gold and slaughter more innocents, Magobe returns to Sabai to face him head-on. But of course, it's not that simple. Rokugo, Magobe's former master, hires another ronin to take out our hero. But instead, the ronin joins Magobe's cause, and together with a young woman and her brother who survived the original slaughter, they set out to stop Rokugo's evil plan. And what is that plan, you ask? Oh, just moving a bonfire to make a gold ship hit some dangerous rocks, then slaughtering the peasants who helped him do it. No big deal, right? In a thrilling final showdown in the falling snow, Magobe takes down Rokugo, but not before getting a nasty throwing knife wound. Talk about a battle scar to brag about. So, if you're in the mood for some intense samurai action with a side of redemption and a dash of betrayal, Goyokin is the movie for you. Just be sure to keep your wits about you, because with all the twists and turns, you never know what's coming next. The Secret of the Urn, 1966. Oh boy, have you heard about the movie Secrets of the Urn? It's got all the drama, action and betrayal you could ever want, plus a hilarious twist. So, we start off with our protagonist, Samanosuke, the loyal samurai carrying out a mission for his clan. But things go horribly wrong. He's attacked, mutilated and left for dead. Ouch. But don't worry, he recovers, albeit missing an eye and an arm. Talk about a bad day at the office. But here's where things get really interesting. Samanosuke takes on a new identity as Tange Sazen and sets off on a quest to find a stolen urn that has some serious significance to his clan. Sounds pretty straightforward, right? Wrong. Tange Sazen has his own reasons for seeking the urn, and they're not exactly what you'd expect. Now, imagine this one-armed, one-eyed samurai traipsing around trying to find a stolen urn while also dealing with his own secret motivations. It's like a Japanese version of The Hangover. Will he find the urn? Will his true intentions be revealed? And can he do it all with only one arm and one eye? Find out in Secrets of the Urn, the movie that proves even samurai can have a sense of humor. Tales of Ugetsu, 1953. The movie adaptation of the classic Japanese Tales of Ugetsu is a cinematic masterpiece that captures the essence of the original stories while bringing them to life on the big screen. That was directed by Kenji Mizoguchi. The movie is a haunting and mesmerizing journey through a world of supernatural spirits and harsh realities set against the backdrop of the Sengoku period in Japan. The film follows the journey of Genjuro, a potter, and his brother-in-law Tobei as they set out to sell their wares in the nearby town of Omizu. Accompanied by their wives, they encounter a boatman who warns them of pirates, but ultimately decide to continue on their journey. Along the way, they encounter Lady Wakaza, a noblewoman who seduces Genjuro and convinces him to marry her. Meanwhile, Tobei becomes a samurai and buys back his wife's honor, only to discover her working as a prostitute. As the story unfolds, the characters are faced with the consequences of their actions, both good and bad. Genjuro is haunted by the spirits of Lady Wakaza and her father, while Tobei struggles to make amends for his mistakes. Miyagi fights for survival and ultimately dies protecting her son, leaving Genjuro to care for him him and continue his work as a potter. The movie is a visual feast with stunning cinematography and mesmerizing imagery that transports the viewer to a world of beauty and terror. The performances are outstanding, with each actor bringing depth and complexity to their characters. The story is both beautiful and tragic, blending the supernatural with the harsh realities of life during the Sengoku period in Japan. Tales of Ugetsu was a critical and commercial success upon its release, both in Japan and internationally. It won the Silver Lion Award at the Venice Film Festival and is widely regarded as a masterpiece of Japanese cinema. Red Lion, 1969. Red Lion is a movie about a man named Gonzo, who is a member of the Sekihotai, a group of soldiers in Japan. The emperor asks him to deliver important news about a new world order to his home village. To look like a military officer, Gonzo wears a strange wig. When Gonzo returns to his village, he tries to tell the people about a new tax cut, but they think he's there to save them from corrupt government officials. Gonzo discovers that an evil magistrate has been cheating the villagers for years. He has to help the village, fight off shogunate supporters, and deal with the fact that he can't read his own proclamations. The movie is directed by Kihachi Okamoto, who's known for adding plot twists and surprises to his films. Red Lion starts out as a funny story with misunderstandings between characters, but it becomes more serious as the movie progresses. Gonzo's old flame, Tomi, is torn between her hope that Gonzo's marriage proposal is genuine and the fear that she'll never have a better life unless she goes along with the corrupt and powerful people who rule over the peasants. The movie ends with the peasants dancing to the cry of Ija Neika, which means, why not? Whatever. Or never mind. This refers to the turbulent period of Japanese history before the end of the Edo period and the Imperial Restoration. Shinsengumi, 1969. Shinsengumi is a Japanese film set in the late 1800s, a time when Japan was undergoing a period of transition as the balance of power shifted from the shogunate to the emperor. The film tells the story of the Shinsengumi, a small army of samurai, farmers, and peasants who band together to fight against the tide of history. At the center of the story is Izami Kondo, played by Toshiro Mifune. Kondo rises from a farmer to a fighter and becomes the leader of the fierce Shinsengumi Brigade. Using a stern hand and a heart of gold, he rallies his men in defense of the tottering shogunate. However, bloodshed and treachery lurk around every corner. The film explores themes of honor, loyalty, and the consequences of clinging to tradition in the face of change. The Shinsengumi struggle to preserve the shogunate is a reflection of Japan's struggle to maintain its traditional culture and way of life in the face of modernization. Mifune's performance as Kondo is powerful and nuanced, capturing the character's complexities and inner conflicts. The film's action scenes are expertly choreographed and visually stunning, showcasing the brutality and skill of the samurai warriors. Shinsengumi is a masterful portrayal of a pivotal moment in Japanese history. It examines the tensions between tradition and modernity and the sacrifices made in the pursuit of preserving cultural identity. The film remains a beloved classic of Japanese cinema, and its themes continue to resonate with audiences today. Assassin, 1964. Assassin is a 1964 Japanese film directed by Masahiro Shinoda. It tells the story of a masterless samurai played by Tetsuro Tamba as he navigates through the turbulent times after Commodore Perry's association with Japan in 1853. Shinoda presents a stark picture of a society built on expectations of a rigid social order, where upending the established order leads to duplicity and dishonor. Tamba's character is a complex figure who embodies the tension between tradition and modernity. He's a skilled warrior who must navigate a changing world where his expertise is becoming obsolete. He is forced to make difficult choices that challenge his sense of honor and duty. The film's visual style is stunning, with striking black and white cinematography that captures the stark beauty of the Japanese landscape. The fight scenes are expertly choreographed and intense, highlighting the brutality of the samurai way of life. Assassin is a powerful film that explores timeless themes of honor, duty, and the consequences of disrupting social order. Shinoda's directorial debut in the film genre is a masterpiece that continues to resonate with audiences today. The Satan's Sword Trilogy, 1960. The Satan's Sword Trilogy is a series of Japanese films that follow the nihilistic swordsmaster Ryunosuke Suke during the last period of the Tokugawa shogunate. He's not afraid to kill anyone, whether they're good or bad. It's like if Darth Vader was a samurai. In Satan's Sword, Ryunosuke goes on a journey where he encounters various people and situations. The film explores themes of morality, honor, and the consequences of one's actions. It's like The Hobbit meets Seven Samurai. In Satan's Sword, the Dragon God, Ryunosuke is blinded and must must rely on his other senses to navigate the world. The film delves deeper into Ryunosuke's character and explores the consequences of his nihilistic worldview. It's like Daredevil meets Kill Bill. And in the final film of the trilogy, Satan's Sword 3, the final chapter, Ryunosuke disguises himself as a beggar monk and is harassed by the members of a fencing school. The film explores themes of redemption and the consequences of one's actions. It's like The Karate Kid meets The Matrix. The Satan's Sword trilogy is known for its stunning visuals, intense fight scenes, and exploration of complex themes. Ryunosuke is a complex character who struggles with his own morality, making the film a must-see for fans of samurai cinema. Bloody Spear at Mount Fuji, 1955. Bloody Spear at Mount Fuji is a Japanese film directed by Tomu Uchida and released in 1955. Bloody Spear at Mount Fuji is a classic Japanese samurai film based on the story of Sakawa Kojuro and his two servants Genta and Genpachi. The movie follows their journey as they travel to Edo and encounter various people along the way. At the heart of the story is the character of Kojuro, a kindly master whose personality changes drastically when he consumes alcohol. This flaw leads to his downfall as he and Genta are killed by a group of boisterous samurai after a night of drinking. Genpachi arrives too late to save them, but exacts revenge on the samurai with his spear. The film explores themes of loyalty, honor, and the dangers of pride and alcohol. It also portrays the harsh realities of life in feudal Japan, where women were often sold into prostitution and those of lower birth were seen as inferior. The character of Genpachi, the spear carrier, is a symbol of loyalty and devotion to his master. Despite being a servant, he's a skilled warrior who's not afraid to stand up for what's right. His actions in avenging his master and friend's death serve as a reminder of the importance of loyalty and honor. The film's ending, where Genpachi shoos away Jiro, the orphan boy who wants to be a samurai, is a poignant moment that highlights the harsh realities of the samurai way of life. It serves as a warning that the path of the samurai is not an easy one, and that it comes with great responsibility and sacrifice. Overall, Bloody Spear at Mount Fuji is a classic samurai film that explores timeless themes and provides insights into the culture and way of life of feudal Japan. It remains a beloved classic of Japanese cinema to this day. Samurai Fiction, 1998. Samurai Fiction is a 1998 Japanese film that follows the wacky misadventures of Inuke Hashiro, a young samurai determined to retrieve his clan's stolen sword from the dastardly Kazamatsuri. Along the way, Hashiro gets wounded, loses a buddy, and seeks refuge with an older samurai named Hanbei Mizoguchi and his daughter Koharu. But instead of resting, Hashiro's honor won't let him rest until he takes down Kazamatsuri. Mizoguchi tries to talk sense into Hashiro, but the young samurai is dead set on fighting Kazamatsuri. So, Mizoguchi suggests they throw rocks at each other instead of using swords. It's like a rock fight, but with samurais. Meanwhile, Kazamatsuri is busy romancing Lady Okatsu, who owns a gambling house. But when one of Hashiro's ninja bribes her to poison Kazamatsuri's sake, things take a deadly turn. Kazamatsuri kills Okatsu and kidnaps Koharu, which prompts a rescue mission by Hashiro and Mizoguchi. In the end, Mizoguchi reveals a shocking secret to Hashiro. They fight Kazamatsuri, and the stolen sword is retrieved. Oh, and there's a wedding too. It's like The Hangover meets Kill Bill meets The Princess Bride. Samurai Fiction is a hilarious take on the classic samurai genre, filled with absurd situations, over-the-top sword fights, and a dash of romance. It's a must-watch for anyone who loves a good laugh and enjoys seeing traditional samurai values turned on their head. Sword of the Beast, 1965. Sword of the Beast is an action-packed samurai movie from 1965 that tells the tale of Genosuke, a rebel samurai on the run from his former clan. Despite being a total badass, he's relentlessly pursued by his old comrades in arms, including the daughter of a counselor he assassinated and her fiancé. Talk about holding a grudge. Through a series of flashbacks, we discover that Genosuke was tricked into committing the treason by a higher-ranking samurai who promised him a promotion and modern reforms to the clan. But in reality, all the ranking samurai wanted was to take the counselor's place. On his journey, Genosuke joins forces with a poor farmer named Gundayu, and together they embark on a dangerous mission to poach gold from the Shogun's mountain. Along the way, they cross paths with Joroto Yamane and his wife Taka, who are also on the hunt for gold. But things get complicated when Genosuke discovers that Joroto's clan is planning to double-cross him and his wife after the heist. Despite his own betrayal, Genosuke decides to help Joroto and Taka, leading to a climactic battle with the gathered clansmen and mercenaries. But in a surprising twist, Genosuke's former pursuers realize the hypocrisy of the clan system and rescind their vendetta, allowing him to escape without further conflict. Sword of the Beast is a thrilling samurai epic that explores themes of loyalty, honor, and revenge. Its dynamic characters and intense sword-fighting sequences are complemented by a haunting score from composer Toshiaki Tsushima. Although it wasn't a commercial success at first, the film has since gained recognition as a groundbreaking work in the genre. So, if you're in the mood for some badass swordplay and twisted intrigue, Sword of the Beast is definitely worth a watch. Makibuze, Incident at Blood Pass, 1970. Makibuze, Incident at Blood Pass is a classic Japanese film released in 1970, directed by Hiroshi Inagaki. The story revolves around a ronin, played by Toshiro Mifune, who is assigned to go to a mountain pass and wait for further instructions. On his way, he rescues a woman named Okuni, who's being abused by her husband. The ronin takes her with him to a roadside inn, where he meets several other characters, including a disgraced doctor, Gentetsu, pompous police constable, and a criminal he's arrested. As the ronin stays at the inn, he uncovers a plot by bandits to steal gold that's being transported along the mountain pass. Using his wit and cunning, the ronin plays all sides and pretends to aid the bandits. He manages to gain their trust and learns more about their plan. However, as the story progresses, another layer to the scheme is uncovered, and the mastermind behind it all is the same person who dispatched the ronin and informed the bandits about the gold. It turns out that there was never any gold, and the entire plot was a ruse to have the bandits killed. The film is a classic example of the Shambara genre, which is a subgenre of samurai films. It's known for its fast-paced action sequences, intricate plots, and complex characters. In Makibuze, the ronin is portrayed as a cunning and resourceful warrior who's able to outsmart his opponents. Despite his lack of a master, he's able to navigate the complex social hierarchy of feudal Japan and emerge victorious. The film also touches on themes of honor, loyalty, and betrayal, which are common in Japanese culture. The characters are all flawed in their own way, and the ronin must navigate their personal agendas in order to achieve his own goals. The film is a testament to the enduring popularity of samurai films and the enduring appeal of Toshiro Mifune, who's considered one of Japan's greatest actors. Dora Haita, 2000. Dora Haita is a 2000 Japanese film directed by Kon Ichikawa and starring Koji Yakusho in the titular role. The film is set in the fictional town of Horisoto, which is known for its lawlessness and corruption. Dora Haita is a new magistrate assigned to the town who sets out to clean up the corruption and restore justice. Dora Haita is a shrewd and intelligent man who uses his opponent's weaknesses and prejudices to defeat them. He's able to outsmart the corrupt officials and gangsters who hold power in the town. Along the way, he gains the support of the townspeople who have been oppressed by the corrupt regime. The film is based on a novel by Shugoro Yamamoto and is known for its unique blend of humor and drama. The character of Dora Haita is a charismatic and unconventional hero who's willing to bend the rules in order to achieve justice. The film is also notable for its stunning cinematography and effective use of music. Dora Haita is a well-crafted film that combines elements of comedy, drama, and action to tell a compelling story of justice and redemption in a corrupt world. To summarize, the universe of samurai films is broad and diverse, with a rich history and culture that's enthralled spectators for years. Whether you prefer vintage or contemporary flicks, this list of 50 samurai films has something for everyone. Each movie on this list presents a unique viewpoint on the samurai code, sword fighting, and feudal Japan. We hope this collection has motivated you to delve deeper into this interesting genre and discover even more hidden treasures along the road. Add these films to your watch list and immerse yourself in the world of samurai filmmaking. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.